Hello, everybody. Let me know if you can see me. I don't know what's going on with this thing today. For some reason or another. Oh, hi, Billy. Some reason or another. Hey, Belinda. All of the things that I prepared earlier yesterday, are gone. Yay. Yay, technology. Okay. What I'm going to do is put this here. Okay, I apologize. Been a little kooky. Hi, Carolyn. Okay, craziness today. So, today is all about sewing for your man, sewing for the men in your life. So, it's just going to be some tips that I have kind of learned sewing for my husband, and then I have some websites to share with you and some other bits. So if everything is good and we're golden, we should go ahead and get going. I really wish I could figure out where my stuff is. It's frustrating. Okay, so I made a list to be prepared, hopefully. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. So basically, through sewing for Jack, I've learned a couple of things, and I just wanted to share those things with you all because I am going to be starting a new series, and I just want to kind of share that with you guys. And let's see. This is going to be the series. So it's going to be all about the fellas. So let me go over here. Actually, let me move him over here. That works for me. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be all about sewing for men. I'm going to be kind of just running through some things, and I'm going to do it once a month, and we'll just start with the basic stuff, and then, hopefully work our way through to a little bit more complicated and complex things. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put that away, and we can show that later. Hey, Detroit. Okay, so we'll bring this back. So for my first tip, I want to just share these little tips with you guys, and then we can kind of go into each one a little bit further. So the first one is that men are just as self-conscious as we are. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I didn't think that Jack was going to have a problem being measured, or that he would mind me knowing his measurements. I mean, we're intimately acquainted with one another, so it just, I don't know, it just didn't dawn on me. But when you put a number to someone's body, hi Karina. So when you put a number to somebody's body, it kind of changes a little bit, and it was a little bit awkward, but I mean, we've been married for a long time, so it wasn't too bad. So, but yeah, he was really self-conscious about it, and he was self-conscious that, I don't know, I guess maybe I thought he should look a different way. I know that I've had those thoughts, in regard to my body and the way I think he, or the way I'd like for him to see me. Does that make sense? So anyway, yeah, just keep that in mind. And the other tip with that is to kind of be careful of the verbiage that you use when you are measuring him. So don't say things that could be kind of construed incorrectly, if you understand what I'm saying. Just be mindful and just be sensitive to that. A lot of times men won't act like it bothers them, and it really will, and you'll never know about it for maybe another 5 years. So just kind of keep that in mind, and just remember to, if you wouldn't want him to say something negative about your body, don't say something negative about his body. So that's kind of my first tip. And then I would go on to, for the second one, to be sure that you are measuring accurately. And we know from sewing for ourselves and sewing for maybe granddaughters, daughters, moms, sisters, whatever, that accurate measurements are very important. And we're going to do, yeah, exactly. Don't say that one. So we're going to do a video and just kind of run through some of the things that I've learned, because I've watched several different videos, and they're out there if you want to know how to measure your man. There are videos out there. So I just thought I would add my 2 cents and maybe show you what not to do. And that way you have a starting point. So yeah, be mindful of the measurements that you're taking, and then know which ones you actually need. Like, do you need to know nipple measurements on a man? No, but you don't really know that because we take those measurements for ourselves. So, sewing for men and women, they are different animals. And it's good to know what animal you're dealing with, put it that way. The next one. Now, this one was interesting to me. I didn't really know about women's body shapes until later. Hey, Renata. Thanks for joining us. I didn't really understand, everybody, of course, knew about hourglass shapes because Marilyn Monroe when I was a kid. But I didn't know that there were as many as there are. So there's the triangle, the inverted triangle, pears and apples and bananas and all these things. Well, men have those shapes also. Hey, Michelle, it's so good for you to join us. Thanks. So yeah, I had no idea. I thought, I don't know what I thought. I'll be honest. I didn't really think about it. So I looked it up, and in looking it up, I came across some information, and I'm just going to put it on screen for you guys because I thought it was pretty good stuff. And what I'll do is I will also copy and paste that for you guys into the comments section. So here is that. And then we will switch over to the desktop view. So this is the desktop, or this is the web page that I was talking about. Hey, Olivia. So they say that there's 5 male body shapes, and they give examples of those body shapes, which is good because there was a couple that I didn't really get. So the first one, let's see here. The first one is, you gotta scroll past all this other nonsense here. It's the rectangle, and that's David Beckham, the big soccer player guy. And so he's pretty much straight. He's not wide in the shoulders. He's not like more narrow in the hips. He's pretty much. So, I mean, and we have that body shape as well. Women do. So the next one is the oval. And James Corden, which I don't know if you guys know who he is or not, but he's funny. And he's an oval. So that means you're a bit, meatier through the torso area. And I guess you could call that almost kind of like our apple, if you wanted to compare, I guess. The next one would be the triangle. And this is the, this kind of a triangle, not the inverted. And I know this guy, and I can't remember like where I've seen him from. Hey, Terry. So yeah, this is the triangle. So he is wider on the bottom than he is at the top. So our pear. The next one is the inverted triangle. And that means he's broader through the shoulders. Thanks, Karina. He's broader through the shoulders than he is, and then he's narrow in the hips. So I don't know if you guys have ever read romance novels. It's been many, many years. But yeah, and they always describe the guy as being narrow in the hips and wide shoulder, broad back. That's this. And this also happens to be my husband. I had no idea that I married a triangle, and it's interesting. Hey, Andrea. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, it's kind of interesting sewing for this body shape because, I don't know, I just didn't recognize it on him. I don't know what I would have called him, but I didn't recognize it. So I have to make extra room for him in his shoulders because he is very wide. And then he's got this little tiny waist and little tiny hips. I don't know. I've never had that problem. It was interesting trying to learn how to deal with that. Okay, now this is called the rhomboid, which, you have Daniel Craig there as an example. So he's really built. He's muscular, but he's not like bulky like Arnold Schwarzenegger, bulky. So yeah, that one and the inverted triangle are similar. It's just that the difference between the shoulders to waist and hip ratio are not as severe. So you won't see such a big difference in those measurements. But there will be a difference. So he's not a rectangle, and he's not an oval, and he's not the pear. Okay, so there's that. Little bit of information. I put that, what's that called? Link up there for you guys. Okay, so let's go back over here. And the next one is, so just like we have issues, not issues, but we have things that we need to consider when we are making something. Am I making a completely casual wardrobe when I actually need, am I making a completely casual wardrobe for someone who needs a corporate wardrobe, or vice versa? Does he really need a suit, or does he just need, like dress trousers, slacks? That's what we call them over here. Slacks and like a button down. Does he really need that? So, kind of keep that in mind, and keep in mind also, like, let's see. So Jack likes button downs, but he hates short sleeve button downs. I don't know why. He used to wear them when we were younger, but now he doesn't like that. He would rather have the full sleeve, and then you can't see me. He rolls them up over here. So yeah, but he's not like a Hawaiian shirt style person anymore, though he used to be. And then the next one is going to be, and this is going to be the hardest one for all of us to swallow. So just embrace it, okay? It's hard. He has an opinion. even if he says he doesn't, he has an opinion. He has mental pictures in his head, just like we have mental pictures in ours. Be sure to ask him, be considerate, be kind. Hey, Carol. And let him know that we are interested in his opinion. So even if you say, hey, babe, what do you think about this color? And he's like, oh, I don't really care. Okay, sure. Use the color. If you think it'll work for him, use the color. But the next time you go to make him something, hey, babe, what do you think about this? Or hey, babe, or whatever it is that you call your man, sugar baby, whatever. Just keep asking. Don't nag, but keep asking. When I first started sewing for Jack, he was like, whatever. But over the years now, because I've been sewing for him for a couple years now, he has let his opinion be known. And I mean, he's not a butt about it or anything like that, but he'll say, no, I don't like that. I think it's ugly, or I think it's stupid, or, man words, but he has an opinion on it. So I don't ever assume, that I know what's best for him, if you know what I'm saying. So Crystal says, I wanted to sew my hubby a raglan shirt. He hates them. I always ask first. Exactly. Always ask first, because Jack hates V-necks. I love V-necks. Like, I would much, much rather wear a V-neck than any other kind of shirt. But he hates them. He's got a hairy chest, and he doesn't think that is particularly becoming. But he is interested in the, not the plunging V-neck, but the, more of, I guess it would be kind of like a crew neck height, but where the V is only, I'm trying to get up here so y'all can see what I'm doing here. It's like this. So it's not a big V like a woman would wear, but it's like along the collarbone area. Because those are flattering, and he likes those. It doesn't reveal so much. So yeah, ask him what his favorite color is. Ask him if he likes plaid, because some guys don't like plaid. Jack doesn't like plaid. Ask him if he likes polka dots. Jack doesn't like polka dots. It hurts my heart a little bit, but he doesn't. But I have gotten him to look at pin dots, which is different, because they're really tiny, small, and it kind of reads differently from a distance as opposed to like a full-on polka dot like what we would wear. So my next thing that I wanted to show you guys was the dressing for your body shape. So I don't know how many of you have been to the Vogue website, but I learned this from Andrea on Sew to Fit moons ago. They have like a little, at the bottom of the pattern, they have like a little code, and it'll show a rectangle or an hourglass or different shapes, so that it's showing that this pattern will work for this body shape. And that was a game changer for me. I don't really sew very many Vogue patterns, but it helped me to train my eye to being able to figure out what would work on my body shape. So that, if you guys don't know about that, you just go take a look at the Vogue pattern website. That helps a lot, just to kind of get your eye used to looking at the different things that work for that particular body shape. Now, I haven't seen that for the men folk, but what I did find, and we'll go back to the desktop view here, is this is Real Men, Real Style, and he actually has a channel here on YouTube, and I'm going to show that for you guys as well. But it is, he has other things on his channel besides just men's fashion. So, you can go through the channel and look. But this one right here, the dressing for your body shape, was really interesting. And I put the link in. So I hope you guys will click on that if you're interested in sewing for your men. Michelle, up higher in the comments, I put in the link for the men's body shapes, because while similar to ours, they are a little bit different. And they list celebrities that have that same body shape, so it'll kind of help you to figure out what you have. For your own self, you just kind of have to go by your measurements. That's the way I learned how to do it. When I was at my heaviest, I had turned into an apple. And now I'm like I don't know what that, it's not technically an hourglass, because with an hourglass, I think there's supposed to be like a 10-inch difference between your bust and waist, and then waist to hips. So I'm like a mini hourglass, because I'm 40, 34, 41. Yeah, 41. So those are my measurements right now. So I still have that shape. It's just not as pronounced as, say, Marilyn Monroe or anything like that. And I'm not wearing no corset. Sorry. That's not happening. So for women, I'm sure if you Googled different body shapes and how to tell what body shape you are, you probably find that information out in the World Wide Web there for you. So this one, for the men, was pretty helpful. I enjoyed looking through it, and I liked a lot of the advice that he gives on here. Like number 1, he says your body type and shape should always take preference over fashion trends. And that, I know I do that for myself. I'm not a trend person. I always think about what looks good on me and where the longevity is going to come into it. So, the whole sleeve trend right now that's been going on, I think for 3 years now, I don't follow it, because 1, it's impractical for my particular lifestyle, and I can just imagine all of the crazy places that your sleeve would end up, and I'm not about it. So, another one that he wrote here, number 3, and I'll just kind of scroll that up for you guys. So dress for the body you have now. Don't put off wardrobe improvements for that to your diet plan or whatever that you've been working on. And that is like huge. And it's kind of a pain to try to do, but it also, it realistically and logically, that's where you're at. That this is the body that you have. Learn how to dress it. And, as you do whatever it is that you're doing, if you're losing weight or what have you, then you can adjust and go from there. So yeah, this is a good website to check out. And it right here, he talks about, so for the triangle, to wear, where is it? Okay. Tailored pattern blazers, not blousers. Checked blazers, fitted waistcoats, solid trousers. So that's something that body shape can handle. The one I thought was interesting was for the inverted triangle. I'm going to scroll down to that here. It says not to wear overly tailored stuff, and I would have not really thought about that, because basically the tailored look just kind of, it makes you out of balance. It makes you even more disproportionate looking, if that makes sense. So he says, wear closer fitting clothes that reduce the visual clutter. So you don't want a lot of prints. You don't want a lot of crazy colors, because that's going to be distracting. And then you are going to want to add bulk to your trim midriff and lower body while balancing the proportions of your well-developed upper body. So things like that I wouldn't do, he would do. So, and there's the thing again. No plunging V-necks, horizontal stripes. I wear them, but not often. So yeah, this is just one of the websites that you can check out. And I thought the other one was funny that it says not to wear skinny jeans. If you're the inverted triangle, not to wear skinny jeans, because it accentuates your chicken legs. And Jack does have little tiny legs. Heather says, my husband has a strong opinion, but it's good because he will tell me whether to bother making it for him. Even my son gives good feedback so I can make him things he loves. And that is perfect. And even if your husband or your son or your dad or whatever, your male, whatever that relationship is not like overly forthcoming with their opinion, ask leading questions, say things like, well, how do you feel in this? I don't get too caught up in the feels. Some guys don't like that. Hey, Georgiana. Like my husband, he's like, I don't care how, he doesn't get caught up in the emotional stuff like we do. Like we put on a dress and we're like, oh, I feel beautiful. He's like, no, this works. So try to ask leading questions like that. Ask him, how do you like the way this fits? How do you like this color on you? Does it feel comfortable? Do you think you can do X, Y, or Z while you're wearing this? How do you think that's going to work for your work wardrobe? So ask these types of questions that will lead into and kind of probe him to give more detailed answers, and try to, keep providing you with more feedback. It's great that Heather's husband and her son do that, but some guys don't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that. Like when I was younger, I didn't know how to go to the hairdresser and say, I want you to do this, or I need this, because I didn't know how to articulate that. So, but when you ask those leading questions, Karina says it's so hard to get information from them. It really is, because some guys are just like, whatever. But in all honesty, they really do have an opinion. It's there. It's like under some layers, and you have to kind of poke for it without nagging. But if you keep asking those types of questions and keep asking his opinion and, that kind of thing, eventually, more than likely, there's always going to be an exception to the rules, ladies. They will more freely offer their opinions, their likes and dislikes. When Jack goes into the fabric store, he's very opinionated about what he likes. When Jack and I were in Houston and we met up with Andrea, we were in a fabric shop, and I saw something that I thought, ooh, this would look great on you, Jack. Jack and Andrea both turned to me and they're like, no. And so he picked his own fabric, and it's something that I would not have picked in a million years for him. But he likes it, and if he likes it, that means he's going to wear it. There's nothing worse than making something for someone and they don't wear it. As a person who created something for someone and you give it to them, you put all your hard work and blood, sometimes sweat and tears, into that item that you made, and then it just sits somewhere and they never wear it. That's sad, and it sucks. But I've been there, and I understand, I've also been on the flip side where, like, my mom made stuff for me and I didn't wear it because I didn't like it. So, let's avoid those things by asking opinions and asking him what he thinks, and try taking him to the fabric store with you, or looking online. Jack doesn't so much look online with me, but if I find something that I think he may like, I'll show it to him and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, he pretty much is yes or no. Now, sometimes he'll go, and if he goes, that means he doesn't like it. Just don't even ask. So, yeah, but I mean, it's important to ask. It's important to show them that you care what their opinion is. I know in different things, I don't know where I was going with that one. Sorry. Bloop. But yeah, just make sure you ask for his opinion. If you can, he may want to go fabric shopping with you, either in person or online. And if you're looking at patterns, show him the line drawings, but if he doesn't sew, the line drawings are not going to be very helpful for him. So try to look at the tester pictures and find something that kind of resembles his body shape and show that to him and say, what do you think? I've been able to avoid a couple of purchases that would not have gone down well just by doing that, because he was able to see it and be like, no, that's not going to look good on me. Karina says he won't step in the shop. Oh, that's okay, Carly. Don't worry. So yes, yeah, those are my tips for tonight. And I'm going to go back here and I'm going to show you again. That is not. So yeah. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funny. So, yeah. This is what we're going to be looking at here beginning in March. And what I'm going to shoot for is kind of like mid to second or third week of the month to be working on a menswear item. And the first one is just going to be, like I said, the measuring, and then we're going to go from there. So I have several already planned out, and working with Jack. He's going to be my model. He's the only male I got. So yeah, you'll get to see Jack in some of the videos, and hopefully I can demonstrate that stuff for you guys, to where I ask him, and hopefully, he's not too crazy when he says I hate it or something. Georgie says, my dad is very direct, which is good, but I made him a great pair of Jedediah pants that fit him well, but he won't wear them. Oh, no, those were awesome, Georgie. That stinks. Yeah. See, I don't know. Again, there's always going to be exceptions to the rules. There's always going to be, it doesn't matter if it's like, perfectly made to his measurements or whatever. There's always going to be a fella here or there that is just like, I hate it. And, try not to take that too much to heart. And maybe he just doesn't want to be sewn for. Maybe he is that guy that will rather order online a shirt or, stop by J. Crew and pick up some trousers. Maybe, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. More sewing time for yourself. So just remember that and try not to take it, too much to heart if he doesn't like it. So yeah. Have fun. It is fun sewing for your guy, and I really hope that you guys do attempt it, at least in a small sense. I mean, don't think you have to go out and make him like some crazy amount of wardrobe or whatever, but try little things. Like Jack loves his pajama pants that I make for him, and that's how this whole thing started. I made him some pajama pants, and then one day he said, do you think you could make me some work pants? And I thought to myself, oh crap, he's asking for something. And that's how the whole thing started. Pajama pants to Jutland pants to now I'm making button-down shirts and all of this kind of thing. And it's fun though. I mean, I enjoy spending that extra time with him where he's picking things out or, whatever it is that we're doing when we're in the sewing area. So yeah, let's see. Georgiana says, for this year's make man pants, I'll make some for a friend who loved the pants I made for my dad. See, that's perfect. And we are going to be doing sew man pants again this year, ladies and gents, if there's any gents out there. Quick reminder, if you like the content that you see, please hit subscribe and the thumbs up and share it with your friends. So yeah, we are going to be doing sew man pants. I'm actually really excited about it this year. And this, how do you do that? This series right here is kind of in build up to preparation for sew man pants. Lori C says, I wonder if my son would wear something I made. He will be 30 years old in March. Guess I'll ask him. She said, maybe I'll start with pajama pants. Great suggestion. That is an excellent idea. Ask first. Like, Jimmy, I don't know what your son's name is, but we're going to call him Jimmy today. I've found this just stuff, and I was wondering if you would like me to make you a pair of pajama pants. And the one I used, the 8519 Simplicity 8519, I think was the number, has a little bit of extra ease in it. So make sure that you size down if you're really looking for a slim fit pajama pant. Karina says, so far, hubby's jeans have been the greatest success. He barely wears his Levi's now, and he's wanting more pants. I'll stick to jeans. Yeah. Karina doesn't want to do button-ups because her man is pretty particular about his button-ups, and I understand that also. That's like Jack. I asked Jack about underwear because there were some underwear patterns that came out, and he was like, he looked at me like I offered to perform brain surgery or something. He was like, what? Why? I don't know. Maybe you would like them better. And he was like, no, I'll just buy underwear. So, that didn't work for him. Let's see. Renata says, this is the year my son is interested since I started to sew for the girls. Absolutely. And another thing that I'll add here is a lot like myself, Jack was kind of self-conscious about his body. So he kind of hid under bigger garments. But when you start making things that fit, and they fit properly, which is something that Andrea talks about on her channel all the time, it's totally different. It doesn't matter what size your body is. If you learn how to fit that body, then you are going to look and feel better. Hands down, that's the way it goes. So if you are a 3XL, if your man's a 3XL and you start making him clothes that fit his 3XL body and they fit him properly, he's not going to look like he's wearing, his dad's clothes. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fit his body because you can tweak these things and they make it look better for him. Heather says, she's commenting to Karina, smart at lifting pins and needles. I don't make everything for my boys either, just what they love sometimes and need. Exactly. Sorry, I keep running over here out of my, there, let's turn it that way. And Christine says now both of hers want shirts. Jack is all about the shirts, ladies. I've made him 2 of the button downs, I think. Has it been 2? I made him the black one and the plaid-y looking one. Yeah, I have made him 2. But there's like 7 more fabrics in my library that he's already taken for himself. So yeah. Carol says, my husband had the same reaction about the underwear I offered to sew him. And see, I'm like, heck yeah. And in fact, where is it? I just made myself some underwear. Because the patterns that I found, they fit my bum. They keep it all where it's supposed to be. And I don't know about the whole man stuff, and I don't really want to go there. But, if it works for him, it works for him. I found something that works for me. And so I offered to sew him stuff and he was like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's one less thing. Andrea says, her son is a rock climber. His arms and chest are very broad. He loves a slim European cut. I made a blazer that had to be wide. And Jack is like that as well. He's quite wide across the shoulders and the upper back. And I have seen that blazer that Andrea made her son, the blazer in the sun. Heather says, nice to see many of us trying to find some things to sew for the men in our lives, something they want, love. I know that I'm just going to pop my 2 cents in here. We all talk about how I selfish sew or I selflessly sew. I'm not getting in on that argument. You do you. I love to sew for myself and I love to sew for the people that I love. I don't want to sew for a business. I don't want to take commissions or anything like that. If I make somebody something, it's because I care about them. Flat out. because there's money, there's time, but there's also my heart is involved in that item that I have made for that person. So, I don't want to get involved in the sewing to make a living kind of thing. For all the people that do out there, kudos. You are one of a kind people and you are needed. I just don't want to be that person. So all that to say that it's really an awesome thing to sew for somebody that you love. And when you get it right, because eventually you will, I mean, the first few things that I made, Jack, were pretty hideous and I don't even know where they're at anymore. But when you get it right, you will see it on his face, and he's going to be like, honey, can I have some more? And it's just a great thing. He goes to work and he's like, somebody will say something about his shirt or something. He goes, yeah, my wife made it, How cool is that? I mean, it's goofy and silly, but it's still cool. Georgiana said, I did have a sewing business, but it was killing sewing for me. I need the joy I get from it. That is where I'm coming from. I don't think that I could sew for people and still enjoy sewing. I think, this is going to sound horrible, but I think people would ruin it for me. And Heather says, I still think it's odd when people say selfish sewing. Just sew what you want. We shouldn't have to justify. And that is exactly right, Heather. You have hit the nail on the head. I am not going to say you're a bad person because you only sew for yourself, or you're a wonderful person because you sew for all 27 people in your family. It's your thing. You do you. It is cool, Carol. And what's funny about that is that he now has work buddies asking him, can your wife sew me a shirt? And he says, no. He doesn't even bother to ask me. He just tells him no. So yeah, that is it for tonight's broadcast. I hope that you guys are interested in this thing over here. I'm backwards. What? Anyway, that new series coming up. I don't want sewing to be a chore either, Renata. That would be totally unfun. And that's why I've kind of scaled back with a lot of things. Karina says, selfish and sewing should never be put next to each other. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm sewing, and I'm going to sew for who I want to sew for. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the men's series coming up, and I hope that you all will join me in on that. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or things that you would like to see, please email me them, DM them to me, however you want to get it to me, because I would be very interested to know. I know from my perspective, trying to sew for men, trying to find certain information was difficult. So knowing what you guys are interested in will help me to kind of better bring you that type of content. Let's see here. Happy Karen says, my hubby surprised me with how excited he was that I made him some shorts. It was sweet. It is sweet, isn't it, Karen? And it's one of those things where you're just like, oh, yay, he likes it. Heather says, you are also great. Love the fun we all share. Have a great night, everyone. Good night, Heather. And yeah, that is basically it for me. If you have those suggestions, ideas, or what have you, like I said, DM or email them to me, message them to me on Facebook, however you want to get it to me. But I would be keen to hear what you all have to say. Keep your eyes out for the Man series starting soon. And keep it in your head that Sew Man Pants is coming. It's coming back again. This will be its third year. And it's coming in August. So kind of think about that. Let that marinate around in the noggin and think about who you want to sew and what you want to sew. Who you want to sew for and what you want to sew. Don't go around sewing people and get in trouble. So yeah, that is it for tonight, folks. I thank you all. Good night, Karen. I thank you all for joining me, and please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, share, and all those great things. We'll see you all again next time, so we'll talk to you later. Bye.